kicker Jason Myers to get this one started. And we are underway from Santa Clara. Garoppolo now, first down throw. That's complete. It's Kyle Juszczyk. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
It's pretty easy to overlook the fullback when you're making your assignments defensively in the pass coverage game. But in this case, they made him pay for that oversight and picks up a nice gain.
Here's 2nd and a yard. First carry for Raheem Mostert. And the result here the same as the last play. Another tackle behind the line of scrimmage by the Seahawks defense. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. 13. Here's Garoppolo to throw. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. And he is going to have a 49ers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
21.
They'll run right side with Mostert. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. And defensive back Jamal Adams in on the stop. Now it's 2nd and 9.
21.
They run out of the shotgun with Mostert. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. Only gets 3 yards there on the heels of the 1-yard pickup. Sets up 3rd and 6. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a first down. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive. And they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on 3rd down. They did.
Big-time pickup for them. And now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone. Because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed.
There he goes, left side. Touchdown, 49ers. And that one heck of a run right there. Once he got loose, you could tell that he was going to run a long way. That was pretty impressive.
And there's an old chestnut of an expression called getting on your horse. And I hate to use it, but I'm going to right here because it absolutely applies. How about the head of steam he had behind him? And he was absolutely galloping downfield. That was something to see.
Gold with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. This fielded right at the goal line. And he returns this to the 22. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 22. This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
They go back to Carson here on second. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here, 3rd and 5.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Wilson into the secondary past the 40 as they finally wrangle him in at the 48.
They brought in a heavy set on 3rd down, and that usually means running play, but we have seen them throw out of that formation, and sure enough, they snuck the tight end out on that one, wound up hitting him for a 1st down.
On 1st down, it's Carson, and not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second and 11. Now Wilson. Over the middle, and there's a diving catch. So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 as they've got it to the 28-yard line. Now it's Wilson. He'll buy some time right. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. On 2nd down, it's Carson. And they'll get this down to the 10. 1st and goal, and a chance to get that initial touchdown right back. Wilson after the play fake to Carson. Rolling to his right. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Dwayne Eskridge there to make the grab. And the Seahawks just an extra point away from tying this thing up. Jason Myers now for the extra point. It's up and good, and we're tied at 7 here in quarter number 2. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Niners take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And that last drive was very, very balanced, pretty methodical. You think they go that route again?
I'm always of the school that until they stop me from doing something, I'm going to continue. And I think that that's exactly what they'll look to do. But the beauty is the balance that they've created sets up opportunities for big plays. Looks like a run, turn into a play action, and throw one deep.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the gun, a run with Mostert. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
And trying to get it to Samuel, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And he'll get it all the way down inside the 35-yard line. 1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman is standing by. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half. They'll run on first down. Carson. And a short gain down to about the 33. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. They go back to Carson here on 2nd. And not much running room. Down to the 32. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. On 3rd down, Wilson. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So Wilson heads to the sideline, and on comes Jason Myers for the Seahawk field goal. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of 6s back-to-back. What a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2-for-1 without ever even giving up the football. A good start to the drive. Here's that's caught out on the left side. Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already.
11.
To throw is Garoppolo. He's got Ayuk once again. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Garoppolo. This one caught by Kittle. And now the Niners going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Again, they'll throw with Garoppolo. Eluding the pressure right. And this one caught along the sideline, but they say already out of bounds. And the throw didn't give him a chance to turn it upfield, and that brings up 2nd down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Throwing now is Garoppolo. That's over the middle and caught by Ayuk. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. So Garoppolo off. Coming on is the veteran Robbie Gould for the 49er field goal. On the right hash, it's a 43-yard attempt. The kick by Gould is good. And that will knock things up here late in the first half. Well, maybe a nice psychological boost there just to get back to even with that field goal as we head towards half.
Coaching 101 always says at halftime, play it like it's 0-0 on the scoreboard. Well, in this case, it's level, right? Same score each side. Just start over. Now you get the second half to play.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
At their own 24-yard line.
play of the half. It's Wilson. Dancing to his left. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And it's knocked away and incomplete. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
Both these teams, no doubt, making their final halftime adjustments as we speak. And for the call of the second half, we get it back out to Brandon Charles Davis.
And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. It's a tie football game here. What do you think, Charles, the message was at halftime?
Well, I think that they probably just looked at things and said, we're fortunate that this is a tie game. No need to panic. No need to change a whole lot. We didn't play anything close to our best in the first half, so we don't have to go out and win one for the Gipper. Let's just go out and play our best football and win one for us.
Second down at 4. Wilson. Forced out to his left. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. They'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's third down. This is Carson. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. The offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3. Steps away to his left. And smartly going into the slide there, Wilson has enough for the first.
Not sure I agreed with the decision to go for it, but I definitely agreed with his decision to run it. He picked up that big first down. I think he let his head coach off the hook.
That's what I was just going to say. If there's anybody more happy than the quarterback picking it up, it's the coach that saw him pick it up. On first down, it's Carson, and he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. To throw on 2nd and 6. Wilson being chased out left. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
They'll come up now on 2nd and a yard. Now it's the fullback. This is Kyle Juszczyk.
Let's face it, you always want a team full of guys who can get you first downs and big plays of all styles, but you've got to have a big man you can just turn and hand it to, and he can be dependable in picking up first downs.
Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. Now a give to Mostert running right. He'll get only a couple down to the 44.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. 8 yards to go on 2nd down. To throw, it's Garoppolo. Completes it to the tight end, Kittle. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
3rd down, trying to get a little bit closer. From here, the field goal would be 55 yards. And able to haul it in is Kittle. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 16.
And partner in a tie game in the 4th quarter, you and I both know in the NFL, that's when you lean on your stars. And he came through with a nice catch right there.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Back to the running game with Mostert. And he's able to get this inside the 10 now to the 9. 52 yards on the ground for him so far.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
A good run, got 7 on 1st. Here's 2nd and 3. Once again, it's Mostert. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked out before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
Here we go. Back 80. Let's go defense. Let's go defense.
Now Garoppolo on the bootleg. Complete to the tight end, Kittle, over the middle of the field. Touchdown, 49ers! George Kittle from Jimmy Garoppolo. And the 49ers have moved down in front.
On that 3rd down call, the goal is to get the ball to their tight end and pick up a 1st down, but he wasn't satisfied with just that. They got the 1st down. That was the gravy. He decided to take in the whole meal and rumbled in for a touchdown.
Gold able to tack on the extra point, and that makes it a 17-10 score. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. Taken at the goal line. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. And he'll take this one down to the 36. They follow up that gigantic gain with the tiniest of pickups, 1 yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Here's Wilson. He hits his target, Lockett. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7. But first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and goal. They'll try to run with Carson. And yes, he's into the end zone. So they get the late score they needed. And now the extra point can tie this thing up in the final minute. So it was the passing game that got him down here, but closer to the goal line, it's the running game that gets him home.
Certainly appears that they lulled the defense into thinking that the passing game was going to be it the entire drive. Nice change up there going to the running game to get them over the goal line.
Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good, and we are tied here in the 4th quarter. 17-17 the score. All even to this point as the kick's away. Set to return. Here's Raheem Mostert. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play, but if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. 2nd down and 7. Back to throw, Garoppolo. They'll get this into the hands of Mostert. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. Garoppolo to throw. Over the middle to Kittle, complete. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. They hand it off to Mostert. And he'll get this down to about the 30, 31-yard line. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 14 seconds to go in the game. Second and 9. Again, they'll run it with Mostert. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 11 seconds remaining in the ball game. Garoppolo going to give to Mostert. And he's going to get this to the 31, but that is still well short of what he needed. And now with 6 seconds remaining, they're going to burn their final timeout. So now it'll all come down to Robbie Gould. He made his only attempt earlier. This for the win. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And it's celebration time on that sideline as they have taken the lead in the final seconds. And you know, in an era of cost-cutting and maximizing your roster, this is a club that does not skimp on special teams, and in these situations, it pays dividends.
And that's great vision by the organization. When the difference between winning or losing depends on who you have kicking the ball, would you rather have a street free agent out there or a solid pro like this? Answer's pretty evident to me.
Well, this one, partner, was fun down to the very end. They got the points late, right before the whistle. Then the ensuing kickoff. They were hoping for magic on the other side, but couldn't get that spark.
Fun if you won, and fun for us, because we got to watch it and call it. That magic that you were talking about didn't occur at the end, but what a game all the way through.